I bought a second-hand computer online, but found that the wallpaper was my photo, and even the boot password was my birthday. Just while I was wondering, I saw the sending me messages frantically. That's the new computer my sister bought, and my sister is beating me. Can you give it back to me? Did you see the handsome guy on the wallpaper? But the person in the photo is right here. How come I didn't know I had a girlfriend? The reason was that the computer I had used for 4 years suddenly crashed, and I couldn't fix it no matter how I repaired it. I had no choice but to buy a new one, but my salary hadn't been paid yet, and I didn't have that much budget. After comprehensive consideration, I decided to buy a second-hand one with a higher cost effectiveness. After swiping on a certain fish for 4 days, I finally picked out one that perfectly met my requirements. Not only was the price within my budget, but the seller was also very easy to talk to. In order to save more money, after a pretentious inquiry, I nervously bargained, is 1,500 okay? The brave poor man angrily bargained for 1,000, trying to meet a soft-hearted god, and was ready to be blocked by the other party with sarcasm and then ridiculed online. The other party just said very straightforwardly, sure, and free shipping for you. I really met a soft-hearted god. I was moved to tears, and I copied a lot of meaningless words to the default human computer avatar to flatter her. Beautiful lady, you will make a fortune. Beautiful lady, all your wishes will come true. Beautiful lady, you are so kind, you will succeed in everything you do. Beautiful lady, you will win the lottery jackpot. She didn't reply to the previous ones, and when I finished sending the last sentence, she replied, thank you for your good wishes. As expected, everyone wants to win the lottery jackpot and make a fortune. I didn't expect that after I paid the money and filled in the address quickly, the other party sent me a message saying, is it convenient for you to pick it up in person? It's convenient. After a long time, he replied, I'm sorry, I suddenly received a notice that I need to go on a business trip tomorrow and can't send it to you. I quickly said, I can pick it up myself. Where do you live? He seemed to be more vigilant and didn't reveal the address, but just replied, it's too far. Tomorrow I will ask my family to give it to the errand boy to deliver it to you. The next afternoon, there was no class on the schedule. When I got home at noon, the computer had been delivered. I opened it with great joy, but the smile on my face froze suddenly. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. Something was very wrong. Why is this computer rose gold? The picture of the one I bought was clearly gray, and judging from the style, this is at least 10 times that of the second-hand computer I bought. As I was looking over and over again in confusion, my finger accidentally touched the power button on the keyboard, and the computer screen suddenly lit up, and a familiar face fell into my sight without any defense. I was stunned. It was my own photo on it. In the photo, I was standing under the cherry tree, holding a cup of ice cream. Judging from my clothes, I should still be in high school at that time, very young and energetic, not like now I am working. I was suspicious. Why is the stranger's computer wallpaper my photo? But another possibility slowly emerged in my mind. Could this be a surprise gift from a relative or friend? After all, I was still complaining in my circle of friends a few days ago that I needed a computer to work, but it suddenly broke down. Thinking of this, I looked at the password input bar and tried to type in my birthday. The next second, it was unlocked. The desktop wallpaper was also my photo. This computer had not even been used. No software was installed. I just changed the wallpaper. My guess became more and more firm. I quickly picked up my phone and prepared to send a message to the seller to verify. I wanted to ask which friend he was. The gift was too expensive, so I could return it next time. As a result, as soon as I opened my phone, I received a lot of messages from the seller. Sorry, I remembered it wrong. That was the new computer my sister bought, not the one she was going to sell you. My sister would beat me to death if she knew. Are you there? Can you reply if you see it? Please, please. I sent it for my sister. She put two computers together. I just woke up and didn't see clearly, so I took it to the wrong room. Did you see the handsome guy on the computer wallpaper? That's my brother-in-law. I will cry if I can't see him for a day. He loves him so much. For the sake of the pure love God of war, can you return the computer to me? I was silent. The wallpaper itself didn't even know that he had a girlfriend. Soon I convinced myself I look okay. This photo was probably posted online by someone, and the seller just happened to use it as wallpaper. As for my birthday, there are so many people born on the same day as me, it must be a coincidence. After a series of guesses, I inexplicably felt that the other party's words were childish and funny. In order to get the computer back, they had to stage a deep affectionate drama. Only elementary school students would do such a thing. I quickly replied to the other party, "Okay, I will send it back to you." Knowing that someone had sent it by mistake, my first reaction was to return the computer quickly, so I replied to him without hesitation. Otherwise, I was afraid that the other party would get angry and call the police without saying anything, which would be troublesome. I just passed the civil service examination, and my job is not completely stable yet. I don't want to cause trouble and affect my work. Seeing that I was willing to return it, the man on the other side sent me several thank you and crying emojis. He didn't intend to trouble me, thank you. You are a very kind person. Can I wait for you at the entrance of the shopping mall, not far from the attached primary school? It should be very close to your home. Call me when you get there. Okay. I remember that I rushed downstairs to the mall with my computer, but I looked around at the entrance of the mall and didn't see anyone who met the requirements. Just as I was about to make a call, I unexpectedly saw a student in my class. He was leaning in to look at the big smart phone watch on his wrist, mumbling and stomping his foot on the floor, looking very nervous. When I saw him, I instantly recalled that during the break this morning, he suddenly came up to me mysteriously and asked me, "Teacher Zhalen, do you have a girlfriend?" I was stunned for a moment, then shook my head. "Teacher, no." Hearing my answer, he clapped his hands, pulled another boy in the class over, raised his two little heads, and said to me very seriously, "Teacher Zhaolin, I have the choices here." He paused here, scratched his head in distress, took out a piece of paper from his pocket, glanced at it quickly, and continued to say to me with his head raised, "One is that you become my brother-in-law, and the other is that you become my brother-in-law." He didn't react to what he was saying for a moment, and he went on to say, "My aunt is beautiful and gentle. She is very tall, 170 cm. She is a dance teacher and has a great figure." I was both amused and confused. These two kids came to introduce me to a partner. But I didn't take the third grader's childish words seriously. I held up two fingers and joked, "Then the teacher will give you the choices. One is to double the homework, and the other is to double the homework. Choose one." Hearing this, the two people who were originally expecting fell silent. When Yizin heard that the homework was to be doubled, his little face was visibly panicked. He pulled ants in and ran away without looking back. Thinking of this, I was a little afraid of him. Liu Xin was a chatterbox and talked a lot. I was afraid that he would ask me to do multiple choice questions again. When I was a student, I was afraid of meeting a teacher on the road. Now that I am a teacher, I am afraid of meeting a student on the road. I turned my back without hesitation, raised my head about 45 degrees to look at the sky, and then moved closer to look at my toes, pretending not to see him. As a result, what I feared came true. "Teacher Shaolin." Liu Xin still saw me and waved and ran towards me in short steps. "What a coincidence, Teacher Zhaolin." Then his tone suddenly became nervous. "You are not waiting for your girlfriend, are you?" I pressed my temple helplessly, looked at him for a while, and found that there was no adult around him. I checked my mobile phone and it was already 7:30 in the evening. Even in summer, the sky was already dark. I squatted down and looked at him and asked with some concern, "What are you doing here? Why don't you go home? Where are your parents?" Liu Xin raised the big smartphone watch in his hand and said firmly, "It seems that I don't go home very late, but in fact, I am protecting my sister's love in my life." I was shocked by his middle school speech, but seeing that he was alone there, I still reminded him with some concern, "Do your parents know that you are here alone? It's not safe after dark. Go home quick." Liu Xin shook his head and pointed to a shiny luxury car on the side of the road. "It's okay, Teacher Alan. My driver and car are there." After that, he continued to move closer and stared at his big smartphone watch. I remembered that I came to meet someone to return the computer, and it seems I haven't seen the seller yet. The other side told me that I could call him when I arrived, so I dialed the number he sent. The next second, Liu Xin's phone watch rang. I have never seen such a wonderful expression on a child's face. Liu Xin stared at the computer in my arms, and his small face showed a complex expression that did not match his age. His little head seemed to have figured something out, and his voice trembled. Teacher Zhaolin, did you buy the computer? I expressed my understanding and handed the computer in my hand to him simply. Here, I'll give it back to you. After a pause, I added, lying is not a good habit. Don't talk nonsense in the future. By the way, remember to ask your sister to return the money to me. Yuzin hurriedly said, Teacher, the money can't be refunded. My sister has already sold the computer to you. If she returns the money for no reason, she will know that I remembered it wrong and she will definitely be mean to me. She hits people very painfully. I am always bullied by her. You don't want to see me go to school with a bruised face, do you? Hearing him talking with tears and snot, I couldn't bear it. Didn't you say your sister is a dance teacher? Why does she hit people? She only hits me. No, she hasn't hit me either. She is actually a good person, really. Liu Xin hurriedly changed his words in a panic, but the more he spoke, the smaller his voice became, and his language system became completely confused. I was too lazy to listen to his nonsense explanation, so I spread my hands and patiently explained the situation to him. But you have your computer yet. If there is no computer, you can just return the money, right? Liu Xin wiped away her tears, looked at me anxiously, and said pitifully, Then Teacher Zhaolin, is it convenient for you to come with me to my house to get it? I followed Liu Xin to his house, and as soon as I opened the door, everyone in the house looked at me. Liu Xin glanced at the people in the living room and greeted them politely. Good evening, Mom and Dad. Sister, are you back? Following Liu Xin's line of sight, I saw the woman with her eyes closed on the sofa. No surprise, this is the sister Liu Xin mentioned. The woman was wearing a light pink dress. You said your sister is so beautiful. I couldn't move my eyes away. I couldn't bear to move my eyes away. Liu Xin couldn't stand it anymore, so he pulled my sleeve and shook it. Teacher Zhaolin, your saliva is about to drip on my head. I coughed a few times to hide my embarrassment. I didn't plan to go into his house. I bent down and lowered my voice and said to him, Go and give me the computer. Liu Xin nodded, took small steps to run to the woman, who still had her eyes closed, and shook his arm while saying, Sister, open your eyes. Open your eyes quickly, something big has happened. My parents couldn't stand it anymore and said to Liu Xin, Your sister just came back from work and is very tired. Don't disturb her. Yes, let your sister have a good rest. After that, the two elders came to me to greet the guests. When they saw me, both of them looked confused and puzzled. You are. I remember that when the class group was just formed, Liu Xin's parents were the first to add me on WeChat. Although we haven't had any communication so far, he often likes my moments. I am a chatterbox, often posting my own photos and mumbling in moments, and I have never blocked anyone, so there is no reason for both of them not to know me. But their reactions looked like they were seeing me for the first time. But I didn't ask any more questions, just raised a professional smile and nodded to them gently. Hello, I am Liu Xin's homeroom teacher, Lin Feng. As soon as the words fell, the woman who was still on the sofa with her eyes closed suddenly opened her eyes and looked at me at the door with a sharp look that only a dance teacher can have. I quickly looked away. If we looked at each other, it would be too embarrassing for her to find out that I was peeking at her. While Xin's parents heard that I was the homeroom teacher, they hurriedly welcomed me in. I was a little embarrassed, but Liu Xin was still pulling her sister and seemed to have completely forgotten about getting me a computer. He threatened her sister with a plausible argument. Big tank, buy me that big tank model. The woman covered her ears, coldly hooked his school uniform collar, picked him up like a chicken and threw him aside. I said you can't buy it if you fail the exam. You be quiet. Helplessly, I had to follow his parents in. Father Liu was walking beside me. He didn't know why I was here. He asked carefully, Teacher Lin, did Liu Xin cause trouble at school? He is a naughty child. If he causes you trouble, please tell us. I was mistaken by the parents as a home visitor. I was a little overwhelmed and waved my hands to explain. No, no, Liu Xin is very good at school. I bought Liu Xin's sister's computer and came to get it. Are you Yan? What are you doing? Go get the computer for teacher Zhao Lin. The woman on the sofa frowned and lowered her beautiful peach eyes, as if she was thinking about something. It was not until her mother called her that she slowly came back to her senses. She stood up with her eyes propped up, passed me expressionlessly, and walked quickly to the room. Mused and stared at his receding back, pounded the sofa in a helpless and furious manner, and muttered, "Don't buy it for me. Don't buy it for me. Liu Yan is a bad guy. Wait for me." Father Liu asked me to sit on the sofa and poured me a cup of tea. I just stared at the two elders. It was a bit awkward not to say anything, so I decided to find something to talk about to ease the atmosphere that scared me. The topic was naturally Liu's in. Since I was here, I might as well complain. I changed my tone when communicating with parents. Liu's in usually performs well in school, but she talks too much. She has already talked away 9 classmates. I hadn't finished half of my words when an orange was stuffed into my mouth. You must be thirsty after talking so much. Eat some oranges, my sister peeled them. I lowered my eyes and met the child's eyes full of resentment. Oh no, I feel like I'm being targeted too. Liu Zhen jumped down from the sofa, pulled the computer on the table to him and turned it on. Before I could react, the computer screen suddenly lit up and my photo on the wallpaper appeared. And his parents looked at the computer curiously and then looked at me in surprise. You and happened to come out of the bedroom at this time. Liu Zhen puffed up her lips exaggerated, pretending to be ignorant and shocked, and said to him, "Oh, sister, why is your computer wallpaper a photo of teacher Zhao? It's so hard to guess." Liu Yan strode over, her eyes passed over my face, and then left quickly, and the tip of her ear was. I guessed that she was angry with Liu Xin's words. She reached out and ruthlessly closed the computer cover, making a heavy closing sound. The woman frowned slightly and hit Liu Xin's head lightly. "Who taught you to look at other people's things without their permission? Then who taught you to use other people's photos as wallpaper without their permission? Have you asked teacher Zhaolin if she is willing?" Liu Xin, who failed to buy the big tank as she wished, was unwilling to give him a good face. She stood up with her neck and waist and refuted loudly as if I could support him. Yan was stunned. Her thin lips slightly opened, but she didn't say anything, as if she was right. Our ability to control the situation as teachers is good enough to make a debut in the domestic entertainment industry. I quickly interrupted and smoothed things over. "Is this a picture from the internet? I just happen to look like it. It can't be me." "Teacher Kobayashi, this is you. I recognize you with both eyes. And I tell you," Liu Xin pronounced his name, Liu Yan, in a clear voice, with a strong warning. Seeing this, Liu Xin shrank his neck and stopped talking completely. The parents on the side looked at each other, still confused. They looked at each other, and then looked at Liu Yan and me. Suddenly, there was a hint of ambiguity in her eyes. Liu Yan handed me the computer I bought, and her voice became polite. "I'm sorry to make you make an extra trip to get it. Open it and check if there is any problem." I was afraid that if I stayed here, Liu Xin would continue to talk nonsense, so I just wanted to leave quickly. After taking the computer, I didn't open it and said to him, "Thank you, I have something else to do. I'm leaving first." I walked out, and Liu's father chased me. "Teacher Lin, it's late now. It's not safe to go home alone. Let the driver take you. It's really hard to get a taxi in this area where Liu Xin lives, and the subway station is far away." I didn't refuse. But after I got in the car, it was not the driver who drove, but Liu Yan. Seeing my puzzled face, he took the initiative to explain, "I don't mean anything else. I don't like you. Don't think too much. I did save the wallpaper online. I didn't know it was you. Sorry, I will change it." I still felt something was wrong, and after thinking for a few seconds, I asked him, "Then why is your password my birthday? 19,909,909 must be a birthday. It's just easy to remember." "Well, it turns out that I really thought too much after fastening the seatbelt," he said in a businesslike manner. "Sit tight." He stopped talking and turned to Dr. seriously. We were silent all the way. The car stopped steadily downstairs in my community. I thanked him and got out of the car. I had just walked a few steps when he suddenly got out of the car and walked quickly to my side. Is there something wrong? I forced myself to suppress my panic and asked calmly. He said seriously, yes, let's talk upstairs. Out of my natural trust in his identity as a dance teacher, and I felt that he really had something to say, I did not refuse and let him follow me upstairs. When we arrived at my door, he touched the wall and looked around, turned around and asked me, do you live alone? I nodded. Is it convenient to move? Liu, are you why? And said to me in a low voice. After you got off the car just now, two shadows moved behind the trees and the community unfollowed you for a while. It was obvious that they were going to attack you. After hearing this, I was scared and sweated. Although I have seen similar news, I never thought that such a thing would be so close to me. How did he let you live in a community with such poor security? Who? In the dim corridor, I couldn't see his expression and I couldn't hear him clearly. You are you, Wyan lowered her eyes and looked at her fingertips. Her Adam's apple moved slightly. That person is me. She raised her head. Her eyes were burning. I have been secretly following you since high school. I know where you live, where you work, and even know that you like to eat egg-filled pancakes downstairs the most. Her voice gradually became lower, but I dare not get close. I can only protect you in this way. I was stunned, and countless fragments suddenly flashed in my mind. The side face of her pretending to read a magazine when we met by chance in the convenience store, the umbrella that suddenly appeared at the corner on a rainy day, and the throat lozenges that inexplicably appeared in the office drawer. It turned out that it was not a coincidence, but her hidden thoughts for 10 years. So the password is your birthday, the wallpaper is your high school photo, and you bought this computer specially? I asked softly. Are you? Wyan nodded. Her ears were red and bloody. I wanted to wait for your birthday to give it to you anonymously, but it was messed up by that little bastard Yu's in. I suddenly laughed out loud. She looked up in panic, and there was a flash of water in her eyes. I reached out and held her slightly cold hand, shaking it gently. Liu, are you? Wyan? When I was in high school, I sat in the last row of the classroom, and I always saw the girl by the window drawing cherry blossoms on her textbook. Now I know that my name is hidden in each of her petals. She looked up suddenly, her eyelashes trembling violently. How did you know? I took out my wallet and pulled out the yellowed note. It was the love letter that I accidentally threw away that year, and I didn't know when I picked it up and pressed it in my wallet. Actually, I picked up the note that day, but I couldn't believe that someone would like a piece of wood like me. I laughed at myself. It wasn't until I saw the cherry blossoms on the computer wallpaper that I remembered the tree outside the classroom window and the girl who drew cherry blossoms under the tree. Are you? Wyan's tears fell down in big drops. I panicked and hurriedly took out a tissue to wipe her ears. But she suddenly grabbed my wrist, and her voice was filled with the courage of a desperate struggle. Lin Feng, I have liked you for 10 years. From the day you helped me pick up my textbooks in the corridor, I have never let go. I couldn't bear it anymore and gently hugged her trembling shoulders. Silly, I like you too. Ever since I saw the girl smiling under the cherry tree on the computer wallpaper, I have liked you. Her whole body stiffened, and then she slowly hugged me back, her fingertips clenching the clothes on my back, as if she had grasped the courage that I didn't dare to say when I was 19. Later, we sat on the bay window to watch the night view. Are you? Wyan pointed at the neon lights in the distance and said, you know what? Every day after get off work, I will take a detour to pass by your house. I will feel at ease when I see the light in your room is on. I squeezed her hand and said, then you don't have to take a detour. The light in my room will always be on for you. She turned her head to look at me, with the lights of thousands of houses reflected in her eyes. Lin Feng, do you think we are to wake rush? I lowered my head and kissed her forehead. It is fate that made us write the same love letter since high school, but it took us 10 years to find each other's signature. The wind outside the window blew the curtains, and the moonlight fell on the ends of her hair like a handful of broken diamonds. I suddenly remembered what Yuzin said. In my sister's diary, at the bedside, the word Lin was circled 17 times in red pen. The name that was circled 17 times can finally hold her hand and walk towards a future with each other.